Okay, so this is where we're going to get to 8 divided by 4/3. And the question that is not explicitly here, but that we're trying to find out is how many nuts per elephant? So that's a unit rate. How many nuts per elephant? But this statement is telling us that there's 8 nuts, and I have to divide it into 4/3 of an elephant. So 4/3 of an elephant, I want to make each elephant have thirds because I need 4/3 of an elephant. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. There's my 4/3 of an elephant. So how many nuts per elephant when 8 nuts is divided into 4/3 of the elephants? So that's just step 1. So again, it's unit rate. So now the question, 8 divided by 4/3, is how many nuts go in one elephant? How many nuts should I put in one if these 8 go into these 4 spots? Well, now you know there's going to be a 2 in each spot. 2, 4, 6, 8, right? That would be 8 nuts into 4/3. So now I know there's 2 in a section. So it's 2, 4, 6. Now, how do we show this with a unit rate table? But this is unit rate. So this is where we could think of this as, right, there are 8, somebody runs 8 miles in 4/3 of an hour. The question is, how can we get this to be 1 hour, right? That's our goal, is to go from 4/3 to 1. You and I know that multiplying by 3/4 will do it. However, what we want to get our kids to be thinking about is, I could, right? I want to get something that's easily divided by 3. Well, I know 12 divided by 3 would work. So I could get 12 thirds. That I could then divide by 4. So here I'm multiplying by 3, right? Where do you see the multiply by 3 in this picture? Well, it's where I took the elephant and I split it into thirds, right? That's where you're seeing this times 3. Okay, and then we are going to take this and divide it by 4, right? Because that is 4. But this idea of dividing into 4 sections, right? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So that's where we're going to take this number and divide into 4. So do we ever see 24? Because 8 times 3 is 24. Where do we see 24? Well, we really don't. We're saying, do I see 24? They have 6. Where is this 24? You'll have to help me figure that out. All right. And then we're going to do the divide by 4. We're dividing into 4 sections. So that's where we get our 6. And that's where it's this unit rate, right, that we're going to get. We're going to get 6. Yeah, help me on where I find this. All right. I'm going to close that. I'm going to pick 6 and tell it to go. So this visual has been helping me as thinking of it as unit rate. And, oh, look at that. I finished that one. My struggle has been, and I figured it out, why it works. It's because we're using the per. And 1/3 divided by 1/5 because we write it with the division symbol and we're writing it in a vertical way, the complex fraction would be, oh, I need a third of a batch of cookies to serve 1/5 of my family. So it's 1/3 of a batch per 1/5 of my family. So that per is the division. And that's where I think I get confused when we're doing this. But it works when we're using context and we're using the word per, which is division. So that's why the previous one I was saying it's nuts per elephant. And that's how that made it work. So here, again, it's nuts per elephant. 1/3 of a nut. So let's do 1/3 of a nut per 1/5 of an elephant. Okay, so let's see how that works. 1/3 of a nut. I only want 1/3. And then 1/5 of an elephant. I only want 1/5. So let's see if that matches. 1/3 of a nut per 1/5 of an elephant. So now, how much do I need to fill an entire elephant? Well, if this is a third, a third, a third, a third, a third, I need thirds, and I need one per section. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5 thirds per one elephant. So this idea of unit rate is where I want to ground us, and I want us to use these elephants and some other stories like how many papers you can grade per hour, how many, like I said, pans of brownies per family. And I think when we get to unit rate, our ratio table and our language changes. I'm still struggling with this, but I think maybe this will help you out to see what I'm thinking.